Hey guys, it's me Jen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my life here in Taiwan. So if you're new to my channel, then hello, hi, I am Jennifer. I'm originally from Canada and I moved to Japan when I was 23, and then I lived there for 7.5 years and then moved to Taiwan when I was 31. Still currently 31. I guess presently I've been in Taiwan for 6 to 7 months now. I've gotten a lot of people asking me on Instagram to kind of compare and contrast some culture shocks that I've experienced in Taiwan compared to Japan, stuff like that. That's what I'm going to try to do in this video. Bear with me. I just kind of want to set some ground rules. I'm not an expert in any culture whatsoever. I'm just some girl on the internet who films herself. I'm not an expert in anything. Everything I say is my own opinion and things that I have experienced. Another thing to mention, I was working in Japan. I'm not working in Taiwan, so I cannot really comment about work culture because my only experience for work culture is in Japan. Anything else I want to mention? I think that's about it. Let's get into some culture shocks that I experienced while moving here to Taiwan. One of the first things I noticed while coming to Taiwan, I actually noticed this when I came to Taiwan for vacation before we moved here, is that at least in Taipei, the English ability is like chef's kiss. I feel like shop staff and shop assistants would just speak English to me. Maybe it's because I taught English as a second language for 7.5 years. I pick up on these things. No way am I saying that English is the only language and that people should only be speaking English. I don't mean like that. It's just something I noticed that the English ability here in Taiwan, personally, I think is a lot higher. Another thing for me, I feel like transportation in Taiwan is so much cheaper than Japan. For example, the HSR, the high-speed rail, is basically equivalent to the Shinkansen, the bullet train in Japan. But taking the HSR is so much more affordable, especially travel within Taiwan. You can go to so many places for the same price that you would go one place on the Shinkansen in Japan. You know what I mean? I guess there's different factors to that, like cost of living, distance traveled. So, Japan's bigger than Taiwan. It's just, there's a lot of factors that go into that, but that's just something that I noticed. Regular trains in Taiwan and buses are very affordable. Sometimes, 2 stops on the trains in Japan is maybe 120, 150 yen. But in Taiwan, one train ride could be 15 NTD or 20 NTD, same with the buses. So from someone coming from Japan paying more, coming to Taiwan, I feel yeah, that was a difference for me. Although I don't think transportation in Canada is cheap, I'll just say that. When I used to take the bus years and years and years ago in university, it was $2.25. Another thing I found was different. Japan's quite quiet. People are very quiet on the trains. People are very quiet on the bus. I mean, when I first got to Japan, I was like, oh my God, everything is so quiet. I just want to talk. But when I left Japan, I hardly ever talked on the train. From 23 to 31, those are big, fundamental years in your life that you develop as an adult. So I feel in a way, Japan has kind of shaped me that way. So I don't really talk so much on transportation now. And when I am with people who talk a lot, I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so coming from that and then coming to Taiwan, people are chatty on the trains. I mean, I don't really take the train so much, but every time I do take the train, I feel if people want to talk, they want to talk. If people want to answer the phone, they answer the phone. Sometimes people watch YouTube videos without headphones. I was kind of shocked, and I remember mentioning it on Instagram. And I think people kind of reminded me oh no, that's an everywhere thing. That's just because you were in Japan. I'm yeah, you're probably right, because I mean, in Canada, things like that happen on the bus and stuff like that all the time. So I have to say, I don't like if people are watching things without headphones. Something I want to touch on is friendliness. So I feel both Taiwan and Japan are friendly in their own way. Japan is very famous for customer service, having the best customer service. And yeah, I love the customer service in Japan. I love going to the convenience store and it's so professional. And sometimes here, people cashiers are just having conversations to each other and not even acknowledging you while bringing you in. That's kind of Canada style. And I feel in those regards, it's very different. But people in Taiwan will go above and beyond to help you if you really need help. Does that make sense? I feel even if our common language is not the same, and I'm struggling in Chinese to talk, and because I need help, they won't shy away from the fact that they cannot understand me. Moving away from customer service, strangers. The amount of strangers that have come up to me in Taiwan to just, I don't know, help me and be so genuinely nice is so different than Japan. I have had a few times in Japan where, like, you know, some people have helped me, but in Taiwan, I feel like every trip I take here, there's always at least one person who's like, do you need help? Like, oh, you're going here? I can show you the way. Tell me about the local dish. Like when I was in Geelong, I ate the ice cream. Another lady came up to me and was like, no, you should try the one over there. It's better. Like those little tiny things. Like the man in Geelong was very proud to show me like this temple area and took us all around. When I was in Nantou, I was walking up the mountain by myself. Somebody pulled over to like make sure I was okay and help me. Those little instances, I feel like just all the time, every day, people go above and beyond. That's not to say it doesn't happen in Japan. I know that there's like probably people who have had those experiences, just not me. Okay, another thing that has kind of shocked me is PDA, public display of affection. PDA in Japan is not really a thing. You can see it, but it's so rare. It's very rare you'll see me do public displays of affection. And I think that's just because I, for 7.5 years, didn't really do it in Japan. Hand holding, yes, but like you won't see me all over my partner. When I came to Taiwan, I felt a little bit like, oh, okay. I mean, I was shocked to see it, but not in a bad way. It was very cute to see, you know, like elderly couples snuggling up to each other. I seen like, you know, middle-aged couples in the night market, you know, kissing and holding hands and just holding each other and hugging. So I feel like public displays of affection are more open here, if that makes sense. No judgment here. Live your life. Live your best life. You guys know I have tattoos. I got tattoos in Japan and I got a tattoo here in Taiwan. If you haven't seen the video of me getting a tattoo in Taiwan, I feel like you should go watch it. I interviewed a Taiwanese tattoo artist who also worked in Japan, and we had like a little interview conversation about tattoo culture between both of the places. Anyway, when I bring this up to people here, they almost act shocked that they didn't know, like in Japan, if you have a tattoo, you cannot join a gym. You cannot really go to onsens, the hot springs. Like you can, but it's very rare to go into the public ones. You have to search ahead of time. Mostly you have to do private hot springs, which is totally fine for me because I mean, I'm still kind of shy. I don't want to be butt naked in front of everyone. There's that aspect. In Japan, you do not show tattoos, especially when you're working. Oh my God. It's like a big no-no. One thing I remember is the first time I went to Costco here in my city, there was a man working in a t-shirt because it was hot, and he just had like sleeves of tattoos showing, and I think he thought I was so creepy because I was sitting there looking at him like, do you see that? Because I just haven't seen that in so long. It was very almost like refreshing and liberating for somebody like me with tattoos. Like, oh my God, if I work here, like, is it not a big deal if they're not covered up? And I often see so many people with tattoos here, at least younger generations, especially in the summertime in Taiwan. It gets hot. The climate here is a subtropical climate, so it gets hot. So people wear less layers, people wear less clothes, so you can see people's tattoos more. Yeah, so I don't really know what it's like in the workplace if you can show them in Taiwan or not. I think it probably depends on your career. But that's also something I experienced when I went back to Canada. My bank teller was ringing me through, like exchanging my yen to Canadian dollars, and she just had so many tattoos showing, and I remember looking at my mom like, can you do that in Canada? Is that okay? And my mom's like, yeah, what? It's nice. Actually, I feel like I can just go right into the next topic from here because we talked about wearing less clothing. I feel less judgment wearing less clothing here in Taiwan. I'm just gonna say it. I feel like I can wear tank tops, I can wear shorts, I can wear no straps. I don't feel judgment here as much as I did in Japan because, you know, you have to dress a little bit more modestly in Japan. A little bit more happy wearing whatever I want. Here in Taiwan, I feel like people are not as inclined to dress up per se here. Like people still do dress up, but I mean like in Japan, if I want to go to the grocery store, I would like wear real clothing. And in Taiwan, I often see people just roll up in whatever, and they have like sandals on or flip-flops. It's like Taiwanese viewers have told me you've really adapted to Taiwan if you own like a certain pair of sandals here. I don't have them, I think. Maybe I do. I don't know. I have some blue ones on the balcony that came with the apartment, but yeah. One thing that did surprise me that I do find is more expensive in Taiwan is grocery shopping. In Japan, I like to set a budget monthly for how much I spend on my groceries for 2 people. And I never really went over that budget. But in Taiwan, I feel like I'm constantly going over the budget for that. I know that there are ways around it. You can go to more like traditional markets and have things a lot cheaper. I just feel like going to a regular grocery store here in Taiwan, like Quanlian, the PX Mart, or Carrefour, those kind of grocery stores, compared to going to a grocery store in Japan, like, well, maybe not Tokyo, but like OK Store, Aeon, to compare them, I just feel like sometimes Taiwan is just more expensive. I must be doing something wrong. But fruit, oh my God, the fruit here is so cheap. And the vast amount of fruits you can get in Taiwan is amazing. You can get a lot of different kinds of fruits in Japan, but I feel like I never really took second looks at them because they're so expensive. The other day I bought a small yellow watermelon, like a whole one. I brought it home and cut it up and posted it on Instagram. And a lot of my friends in Japan were messaging me being like, oh my God, I cannot remember the last time I bought a whole watermelon. Oh my God, it's so expensive in Japan to buy a watermelon. Like those kind of things. 2 other things I just want to briefly mention. Honking horns. I feel like in Taiwan it's very common every time in the Uber or the taxi, or I can hear people just honk their horns a lot. And I don't really think it's like in an aggressive way. It's just kind of beep, I'm here, beep. One other thing that surprised me is that I kind of love in the evenings or during rush hour, there are police outside managing the traffic in really busy areas. And I thought that was very nice to see. That's just 2 little things that I also want to mention. All right, you've made it to the end of the video. Are you tired of listening to me blab? Because I know I'm going to be tired of listening to it when I'm editing this video. As I said in the start of this video, take everything I say with a grain of salt. These are just my opinions. In no way is it right, no way is it wrong. It's my opinions. It's some girl who films herself online. So everyone who's been asking me for this video, I hope this kind of satisfied your curiosity. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, be sure to let me know by giving it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, support me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.